Don't you hate it when you're bit by a radioactive spider? You wrestle Randy Savage, your uncle dies, and then you're constantly yelled at by J.K. Simmons to keep rhythm.
Don't forget about the clones!
What?
Huh? The clones.
This is the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse. And we're back. Welcome back to Layman's Guide to the Multiverse. This is Matt today. I'm here with...
Ahmed.
I am Doug.
I'm Paulo.
All right, guys. Finally doing it. I'm doing Spider-Man.
Jeffrey Spiderman.
Yes. Actually, this is going to be an interesting one because this is actually a character I think I definitely know quite a bit about already, I feel.
Oh, join the world, Matt.
Yes!
Oh, congratulations. You haven't been living under a fucking rock. Like getting smothered by Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I mean, considering the other episodes start off with me going, who the heck is this Shazam fella? And then finding out I was watching stuff with Black Adam.
Who is this Spiderman?
I don't want to make the Jewish joke, but you know that's where that goes to. Mr. Steven Spiderman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
I always thought it was Spiderman.
Spiderman works too. Spiderman.
Oh, man. But, yeah, no, I mean, God, they've been making movies about him since what? The first movie came out, 2002?
2001, 2002, something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I want to see 2002.
That was the first actual movie that they made.
The actual movie,
Yeah.
not including the cartoon or the video games
Or the other cartoon.
Or the other cartoon
other
before
video
that.
games.
or the Japanese Sentai.
Ooh.
It was pretty
Rebecca.
much the first superhero movie that wasn't Batman that counted.
That Japanese Spider-Man, by the way.
Wait, did
canon.
X-Men predate Spider-Man?
Possibly. Also Blade.
Blade
Also Men in Black. How dare you?
That is a comic movie, not a superhero movie.
How dare you? Arguably, they are superheroes.
Yeah. How are you trying to tell me Will Smith's not a superhero, Doug?
He's a superhero in real
Will,
life. That's
Will
not fair.
Smith has probably played more superheroes than almost everyone else out there right now.
He plays superhero every day. It's how he lives.
Okay,
He's
we
my superhero.
we will have a dedicated Will Smith episode
Welcome to Earth,
at
man.
some point.
Welcome
Yes.
to Earth.
But yeah, no, Spider-Man. So, okay, if anything, I would say Spider-Man is to blame for the current MCU because he pretty much was the first properly done Marvel character. Because the only other Marvel movies I could think of, not counting Blade and Men in Black, I guess.
Men in Black is technically a Marvel movie.
Although, unfortunately, I may be in the of the lower end of this. Those movies don't hold up as well.
I
watched-
Excuse you.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yes, Tobey
I
Maguire.
I
thought you were
disagree.
gonna
to say Blade, and I was going to get.
I'm with
really
Paulo
sad.
except for Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
2 holds up.
I actually watched Spider-Man
I-
2 again in preparation for this episode. It holds up.
I thought Spider-Man 2. Hell, in theaters, I was like, "This isn't over yet."
Really?
Is it just me? Am I the only one that thought that movie dragged and could have ended like 4 times before
Yes.
it did?
Yes.
All right,
I
I'm
agree.
crazy. I'm a crazy
I
person.
think
I
that is
was-
only you. Yeah.
I agree with him,
Oh.
actually.
Oh,
I'm with you on that, yeah.
Well, then we're on all kinds of different spectrums.
Well, here's what I liked about it was that it was a Sam Raimi film. I love Evil Dead, and just the scene where they're trying to get the arms off Doc Ock in that scene, that came right out of an Evil Dead film.
I gotta rewatch now.
We're all-
I have to
Do you?
admit, I have not seen. I watched the first one again, and again, like I said,
It's fine.
It does.
I mean-
It's good, but we've arguably had it. Homecoming was better than those
well,
movies.
yeah. You do got to give the original films props for being pioneers.
Absolutely. Will not take that away.
Because here's the thing: the other mainline comic book movies that I'm aware of, like
Around that
not even around that time. I mean, think what mainline comic book movies did it, like Blade and Men in Black? I don't count because I didn't know about them being comic books till long after I saw the movies.
Right, that's fair.
There are people who still don't.
I knew Blade.
Yeah.
I forgot most.
I knew
But what other comic book movie, like mainstream comic book movies, were there in the 90s? The only ones I could think of are those horrible direct-to VHS ones, the Fantastic Four and Captain America.
Well, they
movie.
definitely did. Oh, those were back in the 80s.
No,
sir?
those were
No,
all-
no,
And
we're talking about the
Chewbacca.
1994 Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
That never
Yeah,
actually
that
came
movie
out.
was absolutely
Also
terrible, though.
Schumacher.
They finished it and never released it.
Yeah, Schumacher. That's
Oh,
right.
the Schumacher Batmans, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but
Oh, how dare us forget about Batman Forever?
Because you tried to.
Yo,
Because you tried to.
excuse you, Kiss from a Rose is amazing.
You're not wrong. What happened to that guy's career? His voice was so good.
He sleeps with Heidi Klum
Not
every night.
anymore.
Oh
They
wait,
got
that's right. They got
divorced.
divorced.
Because she was banging the security guard?
The security guard.
The bodyguard, the personal trainer? He's all of them. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
the
but
guy wears all the hats.
Well,
And
okay.
a Batman mask and a Spider-Man mask.
Kiss from a scab on the grave.
okay, but the Batman movies they're really no the Batman movies are really excuses to sell toys
Yeah.
from the 90s.
Yeah.
Which
Was
is
the
okay.
first one though? Really? Can we say that?
No.
No, but that was the 80s.
But
Okay,
the second
the
one was.
You want to get
and
nuts?
Isn't the second one where? No, I'm sorry. It was the third one where they had the Batmobile that split into 3 pieces. So it could
No,
be
that
up and
was
out.
Returns.
That was yeah. That
Yeah,
was,
it was
that was two. That was Returns.
The one where it splits in the middle so it could fit down the alley.
That's two.
I just remember having that toy.
I wanted that toy.
It was the best.
I wanted that damn
Yeah,
toy.
to be fair, at least Batman Returns, it wasn't made to sell toys, but they definitely were like, we could turn this shit into toys.
That's why Forever and Batman and Robin came out the way they did because somebody came back. I think it was McDonald's that started it because they were selling toys based on it, and all these parents were like pissed off, like, wait, I can't show this movie to my kids.
Batman Forever had the
I have
the mugs.
the
I still
mug-
have
I still
one.
have one.
I think I still have one.
I have it.
Yep.
I have it.
Yep.
That's my favorite whiskey mug drink.
Oh, man.
I will say this though, arguably going back to Spider-Man though.
Yes.
The Spider-Man
Let's get back to Spider-Man. For the love of God. Before this evolves into bat nipples and freaking what's his Two-Face playing the Joker.
Jim Carrey's
Riddler.
portrayal as the Riddler.
The Batman toy, Batman toys. See what you guys do to me?
Yeah.
The Spider-Man toys are arguably some of the most articulated toys.
Oh, yeah.
Bendable, flexible Spider-Man.
Well, right, because he's supposed to have the agility of a spider.
Yeah, he does whatever a
And
spider
it's
can
hard
do.
to do that with 4 points of articulation.
Exactly. Like, they put so much articulation into the toys for Spider-Man that I feel like it also created like a slight renaissance in the toy market where now you got figures that actually are able to have a lot of points of
Do
articulation.
you think I've forgotten the first 18-point articulation Spider-Man figure?
Yeah, the bendable, flexible Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Where they had the bungee like they did the old G.I. Joe toys?
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to say that his fingers were even articulated.
I'm actually thinking.
There was one who had the
Yeah.
because you could do the.
I'm
little-
actually thinking either of the one before that or the one after that because I don't recall that one. But
Wasn't
it was one from the Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah, that's what this one was from.
Yeah. He didn't have a bungee cord. He did.
No, he didn't have a... No, oh, yeah.
He did
yeah,
have. He had like a web missile launcher in one of his wrists.
I think I had this.
I know which one you're talking about, too.
But
yeah.
the thing is like both of his wrists could flex up and down.
No, the
You could
bendable,
move
flexible
the
fingers
fingers
well, yeah.
in between. He had pivotal joints at 2 points in his abdomen, so you
Yeah,
could
they're
like,
saying,
curve him
they're
and
saying
bend him in different
from what
ways.
I'm looking up online right now, they have ones that have 67 points of articulation.
Wow.
Gee, what?
Actually, you know what toy I think brought the articulation game to a whole nother level was the first generation of the Power Ranger figures we got in the States.
Those were so
Yeah.
good.
The 16-inch
Those
ones.
were so
Are you
good.
talking about the ones that like from the movie where if you squeeze their legs, the head flips?
No.
Those
talking
were
about.
awesome too.
Fuck yeah, they were awesome.
The very first ones. They only had 16-inch.
I know what you're talking. The bit, and
They were big, and you could move their fingers. That was a big fucking deal back
They
then.
were so hard to find. I
Yeah,
know.
they were. And if you
I had
could,
all
they
of
were
them.
so-
I had-
Of course
I had
you
all
did.
of
You had everything.
Yeah.
My parents spoiled me when it came to my toys. I'll tell you that much.
No, my parents did the
parents will
same
spoil you now.
because from ages 0 to 7, I was dirt poor, and then my parents made it to upper middle class, and so they decided to make up to me whatever they felt like they had deprived me of
As a
in the
child?
years prior.
So what you're telling me is that you started from the bottom. Now you're here.
Why? Why?
wait, so I'm back to the bottom?
But Bum,
Is that a joke over the fact that we're recording in my basement?
Yeah, take it that way.
so that goes to this whole Spider-Man thing where now we've hit the point where there is how much toys there are. Kids will automatically recognize a Spider-Man toy without having seen an episode of a TV show, having read a single comic, watched a movie.
You've seen a commercial with them in it.
Exactly.
You're like, look at that.
But, like,
that's Jeffrey Spiderman.
See, but that was the thing though about like growing up in the '90s, because I think my introduction to Spider-Man was the Spider-Man game
Cartoon.
on Genesis.
Oh.
Which one?
Oh.
The very first one.
that game was so good.
Which one are we talking about?
Sega Genesis Spider-Man.
I am the odd man out. I don't remember
two.
that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember
no,
any of
no,
the
no,
Spider-Man.
Depends
Genesis.
which ones you want to count. There was the Amazing Spider-Man, which I think Blue Sky developed. I think it was.
Is that the one that was on the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment?
No.
You're talking about the one though where
Are
you
you talking
had
about
to
Maximum Carnage or separate?
No,
that was
I'm getting to
SNES.
that. I'm getting to that.
And
No,
That was
Maximum
Super-
Carnage
Maximum
was
Carnage Super
Genesis.
Nintendo.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Maximum Carnage was released to everything. Game Gear,
fair enough.
Game
But you're
Boy.
talking about the one before that, where you had to take photos to get money to buy new web fluid.
Oh,
and
yes.
Sandman was a boss. Where
I have no idea what
where
you're
you would
talking
kick the fire hydrant to
Oh no,
flush him out.
that's the 1995 Spider-Man. I'm talking about the 1992
Spider-Man.
one.
For the people who are listening to us while I'm showing this, I've just pulled up a picture. It is the Sega Genesis version of the 1995 Spider-Man that was based on the animated cartoon.
See, the thing that makes it different, so is that what I'm talking about is I think that one is
The
the
better
original
game.
one is called The Amazing Spider-Man.
Here, the Amazing Spider-Man versus Kingpin.
That's it.
That's it.
That game was so good.
It's a side
Now,
scroller.
you know what's funny about it? I
know
hated
it is.
it because I kept on running out of web fluid.
Yeah, because you had to take photos to get the money.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I
just wanted to
I
be
will say
Spider-Man and
this:
wreck people.
I've been playing Spider-Man games since they have existed, literally since Nintendo on up. I would put that game, the Sega Genesis game, as the third best Spider-Man game of all time.
I think so.
I don't think I've ever played it.
But yeah, no, well, that was my introduction, and that's how I learned about the tropes of Spider-Man. Like he has only a limited amount of web fluid. The whole spider sense thing.
Which is, I think it's a great limitation for a hero. It's like your main form of transportation is on a limited supply. What happens when you run out? Oh no, I'm falling!
No, fucking useless.
Oh,
I can't do whatever a
man.
spider can.
Well, he'd be pretty freaking broke if he had an unlimited supply.
Well,
Yeah.
he did at one point when
Well,
he was.
Why
When
do
he
you
had his
think he
organic
is
web
so
fluids.
broke all
Yeah.
the time?
He should be.
He should be.
But he is.
Okay, let's clarify. We're talking
Okay.
broke as in broke with money, and broke as in he has broken abilities.
He's
that
too
disable
powerful.
from the dude.
He's the Silver Skeeter.
Oh, you guys were talking about abilities. I was talking about no. Peter Parker's always just broke.
Which makes no
However,
sense.
Except
Genius.
recently.
Dan Slott, Dan Slott is the writer who has kind of modernized him a little bit.
Parker Industries.
Parker
Oh,
Industries.
okay. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
here.
we're kind of jumping.
Everybody's a genius. Everybody's got a tech company. I'm pretty sure I have a tech company.
I'm in
Marvel Universe,
1992.
like-
You guys are
This
talking
is a
about
tech company,
currents.
guys. This is a tech company. Little do you guys know.
Oh my god.
LGTTM corporations.
LLC.
Google, you're on notice.
We're coming for you, Bing.
All right, so I feel like we should probably give a small, kind of like quick
A small
baseline of what we know regarding Spider-Man's origin, because it's just kind of a necessity.
Okay, so
Uncle died. He feels bad.
Well, more
Yeah,
to it than
there you
that.
go.
There you go. I mean, there's much more to it, obviously, but everybody already knows it, though.
Everybody knows. Like, have you seen any 5 of the 7 movies? Any one of those 5? Like,
I feel like you're giving
Amazing
him too
Spider-Man
few
2
movies.
doesn't go over his origin. Bam!
yeah, and it's Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming. They don't do his origin because we all know it. But it took them how many movies before that to realize you do not need to retell us the origin.
Well, I mean, his origin isn't like that extraordinary. It's a radioactive spider. He gets bit. He becomes Spider-Man.
You could literally tell that in like the opening crawl.
I literally just told you in 30 seconds.
No, I know less than that. But
Yeah.
like I'm saying, if they were gonna do it again, you could do it in like the opening crawl where like Marvel now has like they're going through the comic book pages
Yeah.
to then hit like the Marvel Studios thing. You could just do it there.
Panel
Yeah.
1, spider bite. Panel 2,
Dead
panel 3, I
Tentacle.
have powers. Like shows him in his room. Panel 4, him being selfish. Panel 5, him wrestling. Panel 6, him letting the thief run by. Panel 7, no, Uncle Ben. Panel 8, with great power, blah blah blah.
Great
Panel
responsibility,
9,
Yep.
Spider-Man pose, heroic.
In front of the American flag.
That is one page.
That is actually less. That is less panels than how many movies he technically has.
Yeah.
I just counted it. It's actually up in the teens.
Wow. Oh man.
Arguably as old as he is.
But like the things that never change though with Spider-Man is that he's always been from Queens. That's always like a big thing.
That is
He's always got J. Jonah Jameson.
that beautiful.
He's
fuck
always
woman.
killed Gwen Stacy.
We more about Gwen
That's
later.
not always true.
More about Gwen later. We're getting ahead of ourselves, gentlemen.
Oh, don't even.
Okay, so he's got
Already
that.
triggered.
Okay. He's always been kind of nerdy. He's always been pretty smart, like genius level smart.
Yeah, more than pretty smart.
Yeah.
Like he's not Reed Richards, but
He's also not Tony Stark.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's still smarter than like real life super geniuses.
But he's way quirkier.
Well,
like he's always got
is
like.
he?
Well, no, he's always got like a good quips. He's always quick on it. He's always good with the comebacks.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
he's quippier. Is he quirkier?
Yeah, I meant quippier.
Quippy.
Wrong
Yes.
word.
Quip. Say quip again.
Quip.
Quip.
Oh Jesus.
It's closer to quisp.
Why are you saying quip?
There's Oscorp. There's always Oscorp.
Well, I mean, that's because one of his biggest villains is Norman Osborn.
Yeah, well,
AKA the
whole
Green
dynamic,
Goblin. AKA
Carnage Goblin or whatever.
I
Carnage
always thought his
Goblin.
name
or-
was Jason Oscorp.
Jason Osborn.
What if he wanted to make like a heavy metal band? It's like, no, we're not hardcore. We're Oscorp.
No, I love it.
Yeah, he makes an entire death metal album about killing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Goblin metal, entire genre.
Goblin metal, yes. It's Goblin metal.
And is that a thing? It has to be at this
Spoiler alert, Norman Osborn's Green Goblin. You heard it here
oh,
first.
damn it.
How dare you?
And other than that, though, the only other thing I could think of that all the movies and television shows have in common is he has a stint as a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not getting started on the professional wrestling.
Please.
thing. We're not doing.
I
We're not.
want
We're
to.
not going there. We are not. We are not talking about the fact that he fought Randy Savage.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's actually take that profound moment of willpower and channel it into ignoring Bonesaw. And let's focus it into asking what was his finisher move.
Bonesaw's finishing move or Spider-Man's
No,
finishing
we're
move?
ignoring Bonesaw with every fiber of our being, even though it's fighting against it.
I can't do it.
What is Spider-Man's?
I'm going to
He
say
had a
it.
finisher?
Chair shot off the top. Let's
Every
go.
wrestler's a finisher, Paulo.
I mean, listen.
Please don't tell me it was that lame ass Superman punch that Roman Reigns has.
Oh my god. No. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start.
No.
Very quickly, what would be Spider-Man's finisher? Probably something to do with him, like, rebounding off of the ropes and, like, drop kicking somebody.
Yeah, so okay,
Spider
so
sting?
either as something like
You can call it that. The
Maximum
Spider
Spider. No, his finisher is just Maximum Spider from the Marvel fighting games.
Yes.
Yeah, that wouldn't
I would-
give away his identity.
Not at all.
No.
Not a little bit.
No, what I'm
It's your
thinking.
job. And you like
Uh,
camera up and the whole thing.
oh, your Maximus Spider screwed me over for a second.
That's the power of the Maximum Spider
But
brother.
honestly, that is something I wanted to jump into. Was the Marvel, I should say the Capcom Marvel fighting games.
Yeah, he's
Oh, no,
yeah.
we will.
Makes
But
it
before
into
that, I
that.
was going to say his actual wrestling move. You know the Billy Kim in 420 reverse moonsault?
The Shooting Star Press is what you're talking
Thank
about.
you. He would do like some kind of like 980. Like,
Wow.
He would manage to just like quintuple flip in every direction.
I don't remember that in any of the movies.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it in any of the movies?
Yeah, Doug.
Well, okay. First off,
Doug, why
that
didn't you
movie's
direct-
copyrighted.
Why didn't you direct the first 3 Spider-Man movies, Doug?
Seriously, I would have watched
Yeah,
that.
Doug.
I would have done a better job.
Hey. I like Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
Sam
Sam
Raimi was
Raimi's great.
You
but
were just saying how great Sam Raimi was. Now you're saying he would have done a better job.
I was the one going on about Sam
yeah,
Raimi.
he was.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
yeah,
You're correct, sir.
I'm the
What
one
I
who
said was
knows that.
Spider-Man
Evil
2.
Dead's evil dick in his
What I
mouth.
said was Spider-Man 2 holds up. He's the one all being Sam Raimi defensive. First off, I would have never cast Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
I think Tobey Maguire worked as Spider-Man because I felt he was much closer to the Spider-Man from the cartoon because the Spider-Man of the cartoon looked like he was like in his mid-30s.
Also, Spider-Man for the cartoon was thick.
Yes.
Just saying.
Thick AF.
He was, and also he was in college in the cartoon.
That's true, yeah. But I mean, you could be in college in your 30s.
Well, yeah, you can be in college, at
He
any
did
time.
look
but
like
you
he
can't
was
be in
in
high
his
school in your
30s.
30s. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're a weirdo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just love that the Spider-Man cartoon crossed over with the X-Men once in a while.
They did.
I
They
had
did.
forgotten about
Every
that.
once in a
I
while
don't
they did.
remember
And they crossed over with the Fantastic Four once in a while too.
The Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s did an entire like Secret Wars.
Did it? That's
Yeah.
right, it did, didn't
Towards
it?
the end of
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
we're-
Spider-Man was like the focal point where all the cartoons from the different networks would meet up now and then.
Yep.
But anyway, like speaking of Secret Wars and all that stuff, I mean, but you know, again, I never really dove too deep into many of the comic books. I read the Spider-Verse in your guys' recommendation from the first episode.
What did you think, by the way? Spider-Verse.
I read Into the Spider-Verse, the 2014 one, and then I think Edge of the Spider-Verse, which I think was tied to Secret Wars. Then there's the third one where some of the characters, like I think Penny Parker gets introduced.
Yeah, they have a bunch of like random other adventures afterwards.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I really wish the original Spider-Verse was a bit longer because I felt they got really silly with the alternate universe ones. Like at one point the bad guy in it, I forget who it was. Some
Morlun and his family.
I have no idea who he was.
Yeah, well, they introduced him in the storyline that gave him organic webbing in the comic books for the first time ever.
But I was again I thought it was hilarious.
Sorry, I just
like,
had to add that. That's fine.
Like he goes into the multiverse where he fights the Marvel vs. Capcom Spider-Man.
Oh, that's fun.
And he beats him in
That's
one
funny.
blow.
That's funny.
Wait, I read that storyline. How do I not remember that?
Yeah, that happened in that. There was one where
Paulo, pull that up.
and then there was one where it was a 3-panel kind of like in the storyline of a Sunday funny panel
Oh, that's
where
fantastic.
where he advances the plot one panel and then it gets to the cliffhanger and then the next line is it picking up where they left off, and then once they're caught up the next panel they advance it 2 more lines.
That's amazing.
And then it ended on a cliffhanger, and then at one point he goes back to the Spider Master that's showing him all the intricacies. He's like, I can't work like this.
Well, you were saying just like
Time out.
TV.
It's a panel.
Yeah,
It is a real panel right there.
What? Yeah, Earth 3847.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That is amazing.
And I love how it ends where the kid is staring at the arcade machine, going what the hell?
Somebody describe my face.
Doug's looking at it like he has no idea what to do.
So we've got Paulo fact checking this particular episode.
I'm all about it right now. Yeah, no, here. It's a small panel. All right, so it's just literally... So what they did was, in these issues, they have little clips of how the family goes out and goes to kill these random Spider-Men from different other universes. And Dan Slott wrote a bunch of these weird ones, and one of them is just Morlun, the villain, who is this... animal vampire, spirit vampire kind of deal thing.
He is a spirit vampire of totemic spirits.
What does that mean?
Some characters are basically chosen as the aspect of the totem of a certain animal.
Okay.
Yes.
And Peter Parker is the totem of the spider.
Oh, go figure.
Right.
Well, it's not. It's like I said. It's not a canon, so to speak. Where it's just
It is technically canon, but it's left vague.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying that he has a scientific and a mystic origin.
In either case, there you go. That's the first panel from it where he starts to fight him.
Yeah, he does the Maximum Spider.
Which actually says Maximum Spider in the panel.
Yeah, any spiders thing and web ball.
Yeah,
because if you had any doubt it was Marvel versus Capcom, he's throwing those phrases out.
Yeah.
I had never seen that, and I'm blown away.
Yeah, like I said, I loved the first Spider-Verse one because it went really silly with the concepts. Edge of the Spider-Verse was kind of cool because it tried to keep it coherent.
I just threw my glasses because I'm scrolling through some of these now. Morlun kills the Hostess version of Spider-Man.
Did he never get his cream filled cakes?
No, he did not.
Wait, the host of Spider-Man?
Yes,
That's what that was?
Hostess Tasty Cakes.
Hostess Tasty Cake Spider-Man on panel just killed him.
Wait. So Spider-Man once was actually had a tie-in with Hostess?
I want to say that there was
every
a bunch of Marvel
hero
characters.
did.
Yeah.
Really?
They were in ads in the middle of comic books. They would be 1 or 2 page ads.
Yeah.
And they would have a little storyline where some crazy made up supervillain would steal all the Hostess cakes from a picnic to make some kind of moral lesson as a supervillain. And Spider-Man or Captain America or whoever would show up, and they would stop him, and they'd be Hulk would be Hulk can't keep, the deliciousness of Hostess Tasty Cakes to himself.
This panel is pretty amazing, and I feel like I have to
describe
read it. Okay, so Spider-Man is running late to bring these delicious...
What comes off most striking is that the colors they pick, they contrast a lot. It's very sharp reds, very sharp blues.
Well, they're the same as the comic panels we would have gotten
Well,
in them. So
Yeah,
that's
right.
They were actually inked.
Right. Well, I'm just pointing that out because I'm used to the more modern kinds of Spider-Man
colors.
Right, where it's more gradients, where
So-
it's more
To kind of give a small summary on what I'm looking at, Spider-Man is running late to get to MJ on a date, and he's bringing flowers and Hostess tasty cakes with him. Moreland shows up, punches the building he's on. Spider-Man falls off the building, and he's like, "What's your problem, man?" And he's like, "I'm Moreland. I'm here to kill you." And Spider-Man throws the Hostess cakes on him and says, "Yeah, why don't you feast on these?" And you just see him throw the cakes. He actually, Moreland grabs him by the neck and goes, "I can only be satiated by your soul," or some stupid thing like that, and kills him.
I'm really sad that Moreland didn't kill that particular Spider-Man by shoving Twinkies just down his throat.
He actually says the ending panel of this is, "What a sweet and succulent soul you have, the greatest snack of all."
Oh my god! After Ed said the thing about him shoving Hostess, all I could think of is that thing of Deadpool. I keep seeing this panel where he's like shoving hamburgers into like vegetarians' mouths or something like that.
Jesus. Yes. Well, no. So going back to this is the popularity of this character, and over all of this stuff is you have a character that you can chill everything with.
Yeah,
He's chilled everything. They even did this in the if you guys have seen the trailer for the Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
They talk about the fact that the Peter Parker, the main Peter Parker of that where that movie takes place from, he has cereal, he has a comic book, he has a pretty okay ice cream pop.
Probably has a spider buggy too.
That's a real thing.
I know.
I thought that was just a toy.
No, it's a real thing.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Spider-Man has a Spider-Mobile. Spider-Bug, whatever they call it.
Why does he need it? He can swing around. That like what would I rather do? Sit around in fucking Manhattan traffic or swing around?
I was gonna say, like, that spider buggy, like, if he
That's
ever went
true.
outside of NYC, went to, like, rural New York, that'd be very handy, because that'd probably be faster than he could swing. Between NYC traffic and NYC skyscrapers, there's no way driving is
Just
fast
call
as
an
swinging.
Uber.
I'm just actually no. That reminded me. There was an episode of the newer. Bless you.
Thank you.
The newer TV show.
Which one is that?
Which one was
Oh, the
it?
one on Disney XD.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney XD.
I saw some of that. It's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, it's not bad. It's actually.
Spectacular is better.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
Couldn't tell you.
Spectacular, so I couldn't tell you. Regardless, he gets a spider bike in the cartoon.
Spider bike.
Yes, it is a motorcycle
That was my
that actually can shoot out webs
it was like
and
actual-
ride the webs.
I'm a little sad.
So
that
he's
it's not-
biking by a radioactive spider? Or
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm just sad that he wasn't. It was actually like a like pedals or anything.
Well, one of the things that we probably should go over is the fact that we all know he's got webbing. That we all know.
Sure.
Now
Wait,
we
what?
have webbing.
What is this?
What is webbing? Where is this going? Where is this going? The difference between organic and mechanical webbing that he gets.
Yeah, because that's kind of something I kind of think we should point at is that we all, like people like me, I know a lot about the character from like the TV and comic books, and even that's not TV and movies. Even that's not consistent where he gets his webbing from. Like
he makes it.
well, in the television show,
Yeah,
he
one way
makes
or the
it.
other.
In the Tobey Maguire's, it's organic. In Homecoming, it wasn't. It was mechanical.
Yeah.
Mechanical, yes.
Yeah.
Tony Stark gives him upgraded versions.
By the
I
way,
believe. Yes.
I heard when you said TV and comic, like somehow I just heard deviant.
Oh jeez, no.
Yeah, so like I've only seen the deviant webbing, and I'm like, oh.
Is that
Like,
is
yeah,
that
the
like
stuff on DeviantArt?
Sexier cousin of the dark web.
My word.
Oh,
But no, but I mean, what are some things that you could think of where excluding the Spider-Verse stuff, like where does the comics differ from like the mainline television shows and movies?
So
With regards to webbing.
No, with regards to like
everything.
anything. Like I don't know, maybe in one of the comic books, J. Jonah Jameson, doesn't want to get kill Spider-Man or something. I don't know.
That
In fact,
was a what
no.
if.
No,
Doesn't
no
he
longer a
currently
what
not?
if.
Yeah.
Currently, he is an ally of Spider-Man. Currently.
I knew he was when Otto Octavius was doing the Superior Spider-Man run, but I did not know that had followed into the post.
He actually knows that Peter is Spider-Man now.
Oh,
J. Jonah knows that Peter
I
is
have
Spider-Man
not kept
now.
up. Superior Spider-Man is actually the last storyline in Spider-Man I've read in quite a while. I need to catch up a bit.
For those
Superior Spider-Man is really good.
It
For those
really
that don't
is.
know, Superior Spider-Man is Dr. Ock is now Spider-Man.
Whoa,
Yeah.
hold on.
Was,
We need to.
well,
Whoa.
but-
There's a little bit more to that.
Yeah,
So let's
there
clarify
is.
There is.
that Dr. Octavius has transferred his brainwaves,
His consciousness.
his consciousness, into the body of Peter Parker,
But also has all of Parker's memories, experiences, and feelings.
which is the reason that he took on the role of becoming the Superior Spider-Man.
Right. So even though he has all of his arrogance and superiority and kind of megalomaniacalness of his villain self, he still had a sense of responsibility and an obligation to do good.
Where's Peter Parker's conscious during this?
It is in.
Still in his
It's
head.
Yeah, I was
still
going
in
to say
there,
it. Yes, but originally it was in
They-
Dr. Octopus's
Dying
now
body.
dead corpse.
Yes. Well, no. So okay. So at one point, all right. So just to kind of go into the story, and I know this is one of those really weird ones.
It is, but it's so good.
Dr. Octopus at this point is riddled with cancer. He literally just moves around using his brain to move the
The
mechanical
tentacles.
arms. the
He looks like a
tentacles.
mummy with Dr. Octopus tentacles.
Yes.
Whoa.
And though he has a climactic battle with Spider-Man where he's able to switch their consciousness. So he switches Peter Parker's consciousness into his dying body, and he switches his consciousness into Peter's body. And then Peter tries one last big fight again to do the whole switcheroo.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Fails. Technically, Peter Parker dies.
Yeah, he did.
The consciousness of Peter Parker dies. However, again. However, there was like a mishap in the consciousness transfer, and a large portion of Peter's consciousness remained within his within the
body.
the body.
But even without that, though, that didn't actually come up immediately.
It didn't come up till the end of the run.
Yeah.
Because
Because they needed to write it themselves out.
Exactly.
Out of course.
But they still had. It's
not a bad thing.
They
They
still
just
had
don't like it.
Ock's personality change quite a bit though, because he was still suddenly flooded with every memory, experience, emotion, and
That's right.
trauma that Peter Parker had ever gone through. So he was no longer Otto. He was like
Just
Otto.
amalgamation.
He was Peter and Otto. Like he was
Which has actually remained. Actually, so once I'm not sure.
He's now the Superior Octopus.
And
Yeah,
they're
that's
going
right,
to be,
it is
just
Octopus.
turning him back into the Superior Spider-Man.
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
That's so
Which was
good.
actually a really great run.
It was.
if
a
you
good
have not
run.
read it, I do
really
recommend it.
I recommend it.
You know what
very
this
much
sounds
well.
like? You know what this remember that book Animorphs?
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, Matt. Which one? There were 33 of them.
No, because
I don't know.
no, it was like it came out. It was like the hype book after like Goosebumps when I was like in middle school, and the whole shtick was it was these kids that get this alien ability if they touch an animal, any animal for a period of time.
You mean how Pitbull can transform into an actual Pitbull?
Oh, I'm
Wait,
pretty
what?
sure that's real.
I don't know about that.
It's not real.
Oh,
There are
Mr.
memes.
Worldwide could totally turn into a pitbull.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
There are memes. There are
No,
memes
no,
out
no.
there.
I
don't know about
I have
that,
seen Pitbull on TV. Are you trying to tell me he's not actually a dog?
Doug's face right now. All right, no.
No one's
No.
trying to tell you that, Doug.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but yeah,
no, because the whole shtick of that book was that these kids they touch the animals and then they can turn into them, but for only like I think 2 hours was they stay as that animal, and then the other shtick was that they have to fight the animal's consciousness while they're doing it.
That's amazing. Imagine having to fight the consciousness of like a praying mantis.
Oh, I could totally choke out the consciousness of a jaguar.
But like
Fucking go.
But like that was the
Jaguar
thing, like,
consciousness.
because like some of the animals, I think like one of the kids, like I forget.
How
like,
hard
maybe
is it to
elephant.
trick something whose only feelings are live or die?
Well, that was the
How
thing.
dare you? Animals have more feelings than that.
Yeah, they have like 4 more feelings.
But-
Exactly.
But that was the thing.
They get
But-
hungry.
Yeah, but that was the thing though, and that was like their whole shtick was that they had to figure out ways to overcome the animal subconsciousness, and it kind of sounds like what Otto has to do with an inner Peter Parker who is kind of like
he was
kind of like a goody two shoes.
He was actually constantly fighting his influence, but he wasn't basically saying "shut up, what you're saying is wrong." It's more like "shut up, I know that I can do it better than you."
So what you're telling me?
That's why he called himself the superior Spider-Man.
That's right.
He said about his entire thing. He's like, I'm going to take
Spider-Man,
over. Yeah,
but
I'm going to
better
take
than
over.
Peter.
I'm going to take over Parker's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to become Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I'm going to be a better Spider-Man than he ever was.
I'm going to be a better Spider-Man. I'm going to be a better photographer. I'm going to bang Mary Jane better
No,
than him.
he falls in love with a midget.
He does.
Little person, excuse you.
Also, yes. But actually, one of my favorite moments in that was when he realizes, because he's been in Peter's body for, I think, like a month at this point. And
phrasing Joel.
Okay, so somebody calls him. Somebody calls him Mr. Parker, and he goes, Dr. Parker, excuse me. And the other guy's like,
But you're not a doctor.
yeah, he's like, are you like high, Parker? You're not a doctor. And suddenly, Octavius in Parker's body freezes, and he's like, wait a minute. Parker never even got a doctorate? This will not stand.
He's so mad. He is so triggered.
He is so
So
mad
triggered by
that
this.
he got a doctorate for Peter Parker in Peter Parker's body.
Wow.
Good job, idiot.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining now, like all the people that are like trying to get a doctorate, but they don't have what it takes. Like if they ever get to a point where they could we could switch consciousnesses.
Yeah.
And Doc just went and did it.
Like think about it. Like people
Took him
pay,
a week. Was like,
like people pay people thousands of dollars to like write their like exams and stuff
Yeah,
like
dude.
that. Like imagine like, hey, I'll pay this guy $2,000. He gets my consciousness for a couple weeks and
bang, bang, boom, I'm no doctor
yeah, I'm
now.
a doctorate. Oh
Time
man,
to go to heart surgery with
Man,
this
why is-
new doctorate I
why-
got.
Yeah. Why is my crotch itchy?
I think before break, though, one thing I want to say that to close this out was one of my favorite moments about that was, okay, so he goes on this mission. He's like, no, I will not live my life without being a doctor. So he goes through Peter Parker's body to get his doctorate, and he presents his doctoral thesis to a board of 3 doctors at his college. One of them was Dr. Octavius' former partner.
I know where you're going with this,
Yeah.
and I just remembered this.
Yeah,
now.
and the thing is
Does he, like, play
the whole
with
time in his head, he's like, this moron never understood my genius. He'll easily give me this doctorate. And suddenly this guy's like, this seems to be plagiarized from Dr. Octavius's work. And he's like, can we talk outside for a sec? Like, I have something super secret to tell you, and I'll have thought of it by the time we get to the hallway.
Wait a second. Hang on a
It's
second.
actually fantastic.
Didn't you say he only had his body for a month?
No. I said that he got his doctorate after a month.
Yeah, he'd been in his body for about a month.
Where the hell can you get a doctorate for a month besides Phoenix University?
I was going to say, I'm sorry.
Fry.
Comic book universes.
Yeah.
Like, what does Reed Richards have? 16 doctorates?
How does Reed Richards have 16 doctorates? Explain that to me.
The
Where
thing-
did he have the time to get
So
16?
he went to school.
I
and
believe-
sat in class and he took some quizzes.
I believe that Reed Richards is literally intelligent enough where people go,
You're a doctor now. Here's this piece of paper.
No. It's like when Richards goes, I think I'm a doctor now. Oh, he is. I believe it. Yeah.
It sounds about right.
Like Richard, my favorite Richards moment.
Wait, hang on. Reed Richards, the from the Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
right? Mr. Fantastic. Okay.
Like I hate tangent away from topic, but this is still my favorite Reed Richards moment ever because it's him being a snotty dick without him even realizing it.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Reed Richards is the smartest person in the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Pym is probably the 3rd smartest, maybe 2nd even.
Yeah.
And Reed Richards finds this biological space probe in space, obviously.
Whoa.
What?
I know.
My
so he starts researching it, and he invites Hank Pym,
Yeah.
who is Ant-Man, if you don't know, listeners, to study it with him. And so they're on a spaceship studying the cocoon/probe. And Hank's like, Reed, I really want to thank you for taking me in on this. I really appreciate, the gesture. And Reed goes, Hank, of course. You're the world's foremost expert on like molecular biology. It would take me weeks to get to your level of expertise.
Oh, that is the most ridiculous.
Fucking got him.
Fucking weeks to get to your level.
Yeah, why don't you go stick to beating your wife, Hank?
Yeah, not to leave on a sour note.
No,
so I want to add.
No,
so
go for
going back to Spider-Man and
Spiderman.
So at one point, yes, Spider-Man. Peter Parker comes back. He gets his personality back. He becomes Spider-Man again.
Doesn't he literally just like the consciousness just takes over?
No, it's this whole big thing, and we'll get into it.
We will, 'cause we
Yeah,
should
we
finish
will,
this.
'cause
It's
we
a
need to
great
finish
storyline.
that. However, the story goes, so he gets into a fight and loses his costume. So he has to web himself up some underwear.
Some underoos. If
Not something that he wouldn't do normally. Normally, he has like a special
yeah.
he had something that he's able to like take it off. Like he's able to take off whatever stuck to him and he sticks his own webs to him. Otto changed his formula.
Yeah, it didn't dissolve as
Didn't
quickly.
dissolve as quickly anymore. So now he's stuck in an Avengers meeting wearing these nothing but spider underpants, like spider webbing underpants. Because
webbing underoos.
yes, because he can't and has to explain to them, guys, I wasn't myself for a little while. Just please don't judge me on this.
That's another thing I always kind of wanted to touch on with Spider-Man, especially the Tobey Maguire movies.
Okay.
I think like spiders, they must have the ability to like sew amazingly, because how the hell do you make a costume like that after getting bit after like 2 weeks?
Well, we'll bring that up when we come back, guys.
How does he sew?
He was already a cosplayer, you know that.
All
And
right.
with that,
We need a
say
break.
we do
We'll
need
be
a
back,
break.
guys.
Welcome to intermission. Intermission.
Let's see how many people listen to Ex Nay and the Hombre that get that reference. Alright, because I'm probably going to forget to say this at the end. This track is called Crinoline Dreams by Kevin McLeod by Incomtech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org. Licensed by 3.0. Figured I'd say that because I'm going to forget to do it at the end. Yeah. Intermission. If we had money, I would totally take the funk music that was playing in Spider-Man 3 when he's pointing at the chicks on the street. That would work so well here. Like everything else in that movie. That movie was brilliant, despite what those three have to say. I don't care. They're not here right now. I can make my points be known. Deal with it. Alright, let's get back to us arguing on my basement.
Okay. All right, guys, and we're back with more Spider-Man.
How are you?
Hey. So we kind of dove into some of the basic stuff. I mean, it's not really he's not really well he's well known, like some of the other heroes we've talked about so far. So he's had a lot written about him. Seems like they've explored a lot of possibilities with him, and really just there really isn't any huge deviations the movies have made that the comics haven't, I would say.
No, not at all. He is the most relatable superhero in the world, and debatably the most popular. He's indebatably one of the top three.
I would say that in the 90s he was the most popular.
I would agree. I mean, there's Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Two DC guys and one Marvel guy.
I don't take it that way, but if you need that little victory, Paulo,
That Warner Brothers dick is so firmly in his mouth.
No, but I mean, like before the
What's up, Doc?
before even the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, if I went up to some random guy on the street and said, "Hey, name me one Marvel superhero that's not an X-Men," what would they say? They would say Spider-Man.
maybe like
Or
you
you'd
get
be
the
like-
odd Captain
America.
Yeah, I almost said Captain. Yeah, you get the odd Captain America, but everyone else
You
would be
get the odd
Spider-Man. Or the
Iron
Hulk.
Man. Iron Man didn't even get big until the movie.
No.
Yeah.
You're right.
Robert Downey Jr. made Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man had that cartoon, which we love to debate about.
Clang.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he had that cartoon, and that was pretty much it as far as outside
Yeah,
the
no,
comics.
really. You guys aren't wrong. That like, what brought Iron Man to prominence was that movie.
Yeah.
Like your average, or I should say, your casual comic book reader, they probably knew who Iron Man was. They just didn't care.
Yeah.
As opposed to Spider-Man, who has had, I believe, a consistent running comic strip since 1977.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they've been running that comic strip that runs just
In the
regular
co-
Spider-Man
in
in
the
the actual
newspaper?
newspaper.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Is that still running?
Yeah,
I think
so.
Wow.
Is Stanley still right? Because I know.
No,
I know,
Stan Lee's like on his deathbed right now.
That's true. But there
Be
is
nice.
I am being nice. The dude's in his like mid to late 90s.
the guy is in his mid to late dying. All right, he's not.
Oh my god.
Mid to 8 die. It's just mean.
No, but there, and I don't remember if it was the Newsarama, like newsletter that would come out, like your local comic shop may or may not like give that to you for free if you're getting like X amount of comics. They'll give you like the Newsarama newsletter. There was like a backup thing for the Marvel version of that where Stan Lee was actually writing the comic strip. So it was one of those old school like funny page things, but it was its own continuity.
Oh, okay.
So like a lot of the kind of silly things that other cartoons might have tried to throw in was like Sabretooth was Wolverine's brother, and like the two of them would get into like family spats and stuff. But Spider-Man was usually the focal point of these things.
Just, just like with your cousins at Thanksgiving when you tear each other's intestines out.
Right.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, you don't at Thanksgiving?
Well, what do you think we eat?
That's fair.
Oh boy. But so Spider-Man is pretty much more or less, to an extent, from the 90s onwards, the face of Marvel.
He was actually even before then.
Well, I was born in the 80s.
No,
so
I understand, but what I'm trying to tell you is that basically Spider-Man's been the face of Marvel since like the late 60s.
I would argue at some point, because I'm making all these faces and noises because as a kid, like Marvel to me was just like Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yeah.
In like 93, 94 as a kid.
Well, because
It was just them.
that was another introduction I had to Spider-Man was the video game Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yeah,
where
like I knew of like Captain America and the Avengers and all this stuff, and there's supposed to be big deals in the universe.
yeah.
But as a kid in the 90s reading comics, it was just Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing
like-
is in the comic books themselves, even throughout the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, they kind of kept Marvel separated into almost 3 sub-universes.
Yeah.
There was the Mutant Universe, the Avengers Universe, and
Spider-Man.
the Spider-Man / street level hero universe.
Yeah, because I mean, like, until I really started sitting down and talking with you guys about comics, like, I didn't even know Spider-Man really crossed over with the mutants ever. Like, I thought.
It doesn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I thought that, like, Avengers Marvel and like X-Men Marvel, I thought they were like 2 different things.
Which,
like them
ironically,
crossing over was like
you bringing that up. I just have the little tidbit of information. Spider-Man was never an Avenger until the
Recently.
Brian Michael Bendis run.
Yeah,
In
not
New Avengers.
not officially. He was a reserve Avenger for a long time.
He was a reserve Avenger, and I believe was also a reserve member of the Fantastic Four.
He was an actual member.
Yeah, no,
of the
yeah.
Oh, he was an actual
He
member.
was
of
an
the
actual
Fantastic
member.
Yeah, there was
Both of the new Fantastic Four, which was
Future
Hulk,
Foundation.
Wolverine.
Hulk, Wolverine, and Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider.
Right, thank you.
We got a really cool looking
Yeah, but
white
no.
suit.
Well before the Future Foundation, even he still served a temporary role as a replacement
for Johnny
filler.
Storm, I think.
I
Was
believe it was for a
Yeah,
while.
it was Johnny Storm. He wore so that's where a lot of people kind of get. He wore a costume that was a Fantastic Four onesie, like the same costume that the Fantastic Four wore with the black and the blue, but it had no shoes because the shoes he couldn't stick to the wall because of the shoes, and because he couldn't wear the mask, he wore a brown paper bag.
He was the amazing
Oversized.
bag man.
Yes, exactly.
oh man. But like but again, like Spider-Man tying into continuity. Like I remember there was
Oh no! I would just to compound on what you were saying, how you felt like everything was its own separate universe.
Yeah.
What Marvel would do with the comics, every book or every kind of team or like little corner of the universe had its own separate editor, which is why it felt that way.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't help in the '90s when like Spider-Man was in full swing and just
I see what you did there.
That was
They were
around,
doing
that's right,
gangbusters.
because I keep forgetting that the X-Men had some really big storylines in the
90s.
90s that didn't affect the rest of the Marvel Universe, even
Right.
though they were like global scale, like
Age of
Executioner
Apocalypse.
Saga,
Yeah,
Age of Apocalypse, all
And
that
the-
stuff happened.
And the reasoning for that is that the guy that eventually became like editor in chief at Marvel, not before that.
Oh.
And I forget who the guy was editing the X-Men, but like I was just saying, each little thing had its own editor.
Yeah.
The guy that was editing X-Men became the editor in chief.
Oh,
The
and that's
problem
when
is that he was still an X-Men guy. And would like, and I don't. I mean, it kind of makes sense to go a little pro wrestling here, but like he buried everybody else and was trying to push the X-Men.
I see.
No, and you know, for me
I always
though,
thought Joe Quesada was the first, like, editor in chief.
I think he
You
might
might
have been
be
the first
right.
one to get the name. But yeah, I'm unfamiliar with who got what title at Marvel.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm just remembering. Oh God, you know what? I want to get it.
Get it?
Is,
what are you getting?
It.
no. Paulo gave this to me.
It's it, Paulo.
Yeah. You lent this to me about 10 years ago.
Oh,
shit,
yo.
here we go.
Oh my God, I completely forgot I gave this to you.
I've given
Yeah.
out 3
Matt-
copies of that as gifts.
So Matt just went to his little area of
Bookshelf.
comics,
His cubbyhole.
his cubbyhole of comics, and pulled out The Ultimates Volume 1.
Because I remember in this comic, everyone was kind of like, oh man, what's going on? Oh man, where's Spider-Man? And he shows up and everyone's like, yo.
Yeah, wow.
Paulo's flipping through.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the
Paulo, may
comics.
I?
Yes, of course. It's just been a long time
Yeah.
since I've read The Ultimates.
I just want to look
It's
at
one
the
of those
art.
stories that just gets stuck in you and you forget to.
Full disclosure, me and Paulo have a very long history of lending books to each other.
And never giving them back.
And never giving them
Never
back.
give it back.
You can keep that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I've replaced the copy over.
It's been, what, 10 years now?
All right. I just want to read a quote from a random page that I opened in the Ultimates Volume 1. Get away from Freddie Prinze Jr., Betty. You're supposed to be Banner's girlfriend. Scene.
Hulk definitely does not like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Hulk hates Freddie Prinze Jr. But no, all right. But actually, speaking of that, so that's one of those actual. I feel like it was one of the first places where Marvel started to feel like a cohesive universe, where all of a sudden the stuff that's happening in one book started affecting the stuff that was happening in the other books. It mattered.
Which is kind of funny because...
There aren't mistakes anymore.
No, because it's funny because in the movies, we're kind of in the opposite because of the various disputes. Because everybody knows Sony bought the rights to like Spider-Man for the Tobey Maguire movies. Actually, I heard somewhere, Marvel was so desperate for money back then,
Yes.
they sold the rights to
Anything and everything.
No, what I heard was that they sold Spider-Man rights for $20 million. Marvel said, "Look, we're so pressed for cash, we'll give you everything for $30." And Sony turned around and said, "No, we just want Spider-Man." And then I think Fox got their hands on X-Men and so on and so forth.
And Fantastic Four.
And yeah, and that's kind of a weird thing because reading the Ultimates, which as you guys have previously stated, that is what the cinematic universe is basically built off of. Spider-Man was freaking huge in that book.
Yeah.
Not to mention, the Ultimate Universe is probably the more familiar that a lot of people are with Spider-Man because they wrote him as a teenager again.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I should say, to compound that, they wrote him as a teenager in a modern 2002.
Exactly.
Which
Or
was
2000, or like whenever it came out. He was written as a modern teenager as opposed to a teenager in the 70s.
which is why I'm sitting here defending the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, is because to me Spider-Man is, again, my introduction to him was
30-year-old teenager.
him looking like a 30-year-old uncle,
making
college,
making the greatest crying faces.
I'm referring.
Tobey Maguire is just so emotional.
Well, no, I'm referring to the cartoon where he looked like he was somebody's
he did.
30-year-old uncle that was still
That's
in
fair.
college.
Yeah,
That's to me Spider-Man.
I will say, the Ultimates did reestablish him as a kid. He was 15, just like he was when he was originally Spider-Man in the 60s. But in the mainstream continuity, he's been in his 20s since, the
So
70s.
he's in his 30s now. He's in his 30s. I believe.
Yeah,
now he is.
Yeah,
it's only taken him 30 years.
Yeah, I'm
40
saying,
years.
I'm saying though he started at 15 when he debuted, but he's been in his 20s since the 70s.
Yes, this is accurate. But then again, how long has Batman been in his
Yeah, well,
mid-30s
that's
and 40s?
that's
though?
not the issue I'm getting at. I was actually going to segue
Forever.
that into that it's just it's cool that you can relate more to the young Spider-Man for a younger audience with the Ultimates line, but also just boo Tobey Maguire. I'm sorry, I do not like Tobey Maguire as
You
Spider-Man.
don't like him making those ugly crying faces?
I will also say this to
'Cause I
add
love
to,
it.
to add to what your comment is. I don't actually relate to Spider-Man on the teenage level anymore. I now relate to the adult Spider-Man from the video game.
Oh
who,
God,
if
I
you
have all
don't
these
know-
bills.
Yeah, exactly. The first scene in that game is him having to choose between going out and being Spider-Man
Or paying
making
rent.
sure that he could pay his eviction notice
Right, yeah.
that he's being served.
Yeah, like
from
his basically his
apartment.
third past due note for his rent.
Meanwhile, you guys are hating on Tobey Maguire. He was trying to, serve pizzas.
I'm sorry. I will hate on Tobey Maguire, but I will not do so without offering my alternative casting.
Who's your alternative casting?
Especially at the time, early 2000s, right?
Now,
I know where you're
keep in
going
mind,
with
the world was familiar with a later mid-20s-ish Spider-Man.
Yeah, no.
based on the
My
cartoon.
person would have met the age requirement perfectly, especially at the time.
Sure. What you got?
Topher Grace.
The man who would eventually play Venom.
Yeah.
Who's closer to the ultimate Venom than the Eddie Brock version from your regular...
You're not wrong, but the
Marvel
point
616.
is you know who he's closest to? Peter friggin' Parker.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about Peter Parker. He is a subdued, bullied nerd. But as Spider-Man, he has
to get all those frustrations out?
He gets to get all his frustrations out. He has the charisma and confidence behind the mask to make the jokes, the wisecracks. And Topher Grace both has the acting ability to downplay his charisma to play a nerd and to play himself and be a charismatic, funny guy. Tobey Maguire does not have natural charisma. He can act, and so he can basically come across as a genuine weirdo or a guy acting like he's trying to be charismatic.
Thinking back
But,
to
he's not a leading man.
So you're telling me that he's a good Peter Parker but a bad Spider-Man?
yeah, that's pretty much what he's telling you.
Kind of the opposite
But
of George.
even in that regard, though, I see where you're coming from, Doug,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that the Spider-Man that we get from the Sony Spider-Man movies, his quips, his charisma that he is when he is Spider-Man feels forced.
Wait. Be careful what you're talking about. Sony Spider-Man, Amazing Sony Spider-Man,
Yeah.
or
I was
Tobey
gonna say,
Maguire
I like
Spider-Man?
original
the
because
first
I
three
liked
movies.
Garfield's take on
I did
Spider-Man's
too.
comedy side.
I love
Yeah.
Garfield's Spider-Man.
I like
Yeah.
his quipping.
So
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was the person who played the second Spider-Man.
Yes.
in
He
the
was
movies.
good.
I loved him as Spider-Man. Was not crazy for his
I was
Peter Parker.
just
Right.
about to say, I liked him as Spider-Man. I hated him as somebody who was skateboarding to a Coldplay montage.
Yeah, that was
Actually, he summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
That is why Tom Holland is so.
Oh, 'cause he's got none of
Is
that.
it Hollingsworth or Holland?
Tom
Holland. Sorry, I said Hollingsworth. But that's why Tom Holland is so great because he has that perfect blend of awkward.
I love that word,
Yeah,
awkward.
awkward. Yeah,
Hashtag
awkward, nerdy Peter Parker, but also awkward.
I love it. Let's go.
I love that band Aqui in the
Yeah.
90s. They did Barbie Girl.
But he has the perfect blend of awkward, charismatic,
Come on,
funny
Spidey,
Spider-Man.
let's go.
He's both. Tom Holland pulls off the perfect mix of both, especially at that age, because Peter Parker would gain confidence and charisma as Spider-Man over time.
Yes.
But he's playing that first year
You
Spider-Man.
can tell he's the nervous teenager who's overcompensating his own ability, his own inexperience by making it sound like he just knows more than what he does. Actually does.
He's able to kind of what's the word? Like, protrude's not the right word, but he's kind of able to give off that same kind of thing that a Billy Batson
He
Shazam
projects
should.
it.
He does project.
He
it.
projects it, yes.
But he's projecting something that a Billy Batson Shazam should.
yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
he does it so well.
It also helps too that he's had 5 other movies to look back on and go, I shouldn't fucking do that.
That's also very true.
I'm just. What was Topher Grace doing in the early 2000s?
That's
That
70s
70s
show.
Do you want Eric Foreman as Spider-Man.
That is,
Oh,
That is-
God,
as
that's
a-
Eric
no, no.
Foreman. Oh, shit.
But as a
yeah.
one-to-one.
That's right.
Because I'm just thinking of Eric Foreman with the fucking bowl cut when he goes to take off the mask. It's just Eric Foreman. It's just that character. And you've got Red behind him like,
Ben is back.
you let me die, dumbass. As he bleeds out in the alleyway.
with great power comes a great foot up your ass.
He gets Donna killed.
Oh,
Take her
God.
to the
You know
prom 'cause she
what's really terrible too is because the girl that played Mary Jane, I thought it the first
Kirsten
time because the
Dunst?
red hair. I thought Kirsten Dunst was the girl that was the redhead from that '70s show. The first time I
Oh
watched the movie.
man.
They should have just had, you know what they should have done? They just had a regular episode of that '70s show, and then just Eric gets bit by a radioactive spider, and just
Oh my god.
and just run with it, just from the
so-
next.
I need Kelso as Venom right now.
Yes!
I need it.
Okay, first off, Kelso Venom, yes. Second off, is that a general agreement that I Am Right and Topher Grace would have made the perfect Spider-Man for the time?
I just think that '70s show would have been a perfect setup for his
It's a
Spider-Man.
perfect template.
Dude, think about it. What the girl's father? What was his name? The guy with the
Bob.
fro.
Bob.
Yes, yes.
Imagine him as Norman Osborn.
No, I got one better. Fez, Norman Osborn.
Oh my god.
Norman Fesborn.
Oh my god. Dude, oh wait, Mitch Hedberg had a recurring role in that show.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was the guy at the snack shop.
I need Mitch Hedberg as the guy that...
Mitch Hedberg is J. Jonah Jameson.
Holy shit!
All right, build the Lazarus machine.
Could you just imagine how he goes, I have pictures of Spider-Man. I used to, but I still do too. And I want more.
He's a menace.
So, all right, before we keep... Well, actually, perfect place. So, we talk so much about Spider-Man and how much... Like, how interesting so much is. We haven't even brought up the fact that he's got... Yeah. He has probably the biggest rogues gallery, and by rogues gallery, I mean the amount of villains.
Can we include Bonesaw?
Yeah, Bonesaw's totally a villain.
He was his first villain.
Exactly. Listen,
No, he's not a villain.
He's
He's
just
a heel.
He just plays one.
Spider-Man has crossed over with so many other comics that some of their villains are his villains now. Like the fact that so for example, Kingpin is a big villain for Spider-Man. Right? He is actually Daredevil's biggest villain.
Wait, did he start off as a Daredevil villain, or?
He was just a kind of a ground level.
I don't answer that because I'm not sure.
Here's like the way I look at Marvel, that like yes, certain villains are like villains for those heroes, but everything takes place in New York for the most part.
No, but here's the fun part, and
So
here's
if-
something that I think we're going to be able to talk to a lot better than people from the rest of the country that aren't from like the Jersey, New York area.
We're super close to New York.
Yeah, but I mean, like let's have the fun. Like when I was reading Demon in a Bottle, he picks off somebody off the Long Island Expressway.
And you're like, I know exactly what.
It's like I know where that is because I used to drive and I have to visit my grandmother in Nassau County.
Okay.
But like the thing that's always been cool, and they play on this a lot. They probably do in the comics, but like in the Netflix specials, you know, Daredevil is Hell's Kitchen, Luke Cage is Harlem. I find it kind of funny that Spider-Man swings all the way from freaking Queens to go to Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's just where he works.
Yeah.
And goes to school.
It's a school.
Oh, okay.
My point was though is that because everything takes place in New York like that, or at least a lot of Marvel takes place in New York like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things, a lot of these characters that we're talking about are like street level. They're everybody's villain at that rate.
Yeah,
if you
that's
operate
true,
in New
yeah.
York, Kingpin is your villain.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
true. Yeah.
So like, you know, you'll see like I don't know, this is some of the X-Men will pop up in New York, and now they've got to deal with like Kingpin or Lizard or whoever else. You know what I mean?
I kind of want to see
maybe
Luke
not so
Cage
much
fight
that,
with
but you-
Kingpin more, just because I can just imagine Luke Cage just walking into his tower, smashing through all the doors, and going,
And punching him a bunch of
you
times
know,
in the stomach.
yeah,
for
just
200
like,
hours.
yo, just
That was
lay
dope,
off
too,
Harlem,
so-
man.
Could you imagine, you know what's the worst part about Kingpin? I feel is that I think the best person that could have played Luke Cage wound up playing Kingpin. Michael Clark Duncan.
R.I.P.
Could God, yeah.
Nah, I love Michael Clark Duncan, but
I don't think he could have played.
I don't think he would have played Luke Cage.
I
No,
think-
and I don't remember the guy's
He was
name.
he's too nice of a guy.
So
He's
is
got
the guy.
two-
So is the guy that's currently Luke Cage.
Yeah, but the thing about Luke Cage
Was
is he's
currently,
got
I
a
guess.
was currently unfortunately got
Yeah, as of now, they've canceled.
Yeah,
Luke
but
Cage.
I want-
they also cancel Iron Fist. But the thing is they're doing this because they're going to be moving all these shows to the Disney streaming network.
That's what I kept thinking.
I
That's what I keep
to
thinking.
be fair, Iron Fist's first season
Was awful.
was so bad it's good.
No.
No. Undead Zombie Dad is chewing all the scenery. It's beautiful.
I know. I disagree. I think first season Iron Fist was just so bad it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, so for everything that show should have been like Iron Fisty, and I know there's no better way to put that.
No, there isn't.
For like, there's a lot of other things that are redeeming about season 1, but it's more so laughable. It's a really good unintentional comedy. That's just hilarious.
Yes, it is.
I
can't deny.
I haven't seen
You
season
can't
2
go
yet.
in and watch it seriously.
Yeah, and I haven't seen season 2 yet, so I can't comment on it.
I can comment.
But
on
I
season
feel
2.
like season 1. I feel like season 1 of Luke Cage, up until about episode 8, is great.
It did drag.
It's really good, and then you get halfway through the season, and we're like, "What are we? Why? Why is this still
The
happening?"
minute they introduced the new character, Diamondback.
No, well, you kill
Diamondback?
what's his name? You
Yeah.
kill Cottonmouth, right?
Yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the show. They kill Cottonmouth, right? He's probably the most interesting bad guy in any of the Marvel Netflix series. Arguably. Because I would, in that same conversation, I put Vincent D'Onofrio's King Arthur.
I still think Kilgrave was good too. But anyway, the point is, moving on.
You take you take those two. You kill Cottonmouth. Mm-hmm. Now what?
Yeah, and then they
You
drag
just
it on.
replace it with Evil Oprah.
Yeah, and then
You replace it with Evil Oprah,
And
and,
then-
Dr. Phil is already a real life supervillain. So
Yeah.
like,
and they
He's gonna
drag it
double
on
that?
for 4 or 5 episodes after that.
Yeah, you don't need it.
It dragged. It was poorly paced, but it was still a good season.
Didn't even
Season 2
bother.
was great.
So,
Didn't even bother to watch.
so we're getting a lot of overlap with
Yeah.
all the bad guys. So I mean, so Kingpin, we're not even sure who he originated with offhand. without having looked it
Not
up.
offhand. I'm not even going to try and pretend.
I offhandedly might. If you put a gun to my head, you made me had to guess. I'd guess Daredevil.
I would too, but the thing is, I don't remember when Daredevil debuted. So
Yeah. So, because I remember Kingpin was a big. He was kind of like.
Kingpin's first appearance is The Amazing Spider-Man number 50, July 1967.
There we go.
So
he is technically a Spider-Man villain.
Spooderman.
all right, so Kingpin's a Spider-Man bad guy. See, he was the bad guy in the cartoon, I recall.
Literally the Kingpin in New York.
well, yeah, the Kingpin of crime.
Him and Norman Osborn.
Well,
Yeah.
that thing is, he's the Norman Osborn's the Kingpin of corporate crime.
Yeah, because going back to Oscorp is basically kind of like like a bigger and more crazier version of like Lockheed Martin, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny. I was about to call it Roxxon, and then I realized, oh wait, I meant Exxon. Because Roxxon is also a fictional comic book corporation.
As we established earlier.
Yeah.
How many X's was in Roxxon? 3?
2. Enough. or not enough, depending.
But
could you argue that Norman Osborn is a less smart, more evil business version of Lex Luthor?
No, not at all. In fact, they are the counterparts of each other in their respective universes.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Norman
Osborn is the Lex Luthor of
I would
Marvel.
definitely consider them the counterparts. But they're
Right, well,
definitely
what's
not
Osborn's
one-to-one.
motivation, though? Osborn's motivation versus Spider-Man
Power
is...
and hatred of his father.
Evil
Right.
business.
Oh, yeah, that okay, good point.
wait, I
Lex
was
Luthor hates his dad, too.
wait, which
Luthor really hates it.
I always screw up the Osborns. Which one was played by William Dafoe?
Norman.
That was Norman Osborn, and then the son is
Harry.
Harry / Franco.
so Norman was the one you were saying was the one that was
Yeah.
okay.
He is basically the Lex Luthor of the Marvel Universe. They really illustrated that when he became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. after Secret Invasion.
First of all, sir, that was called Hammer. Remember? They changed
Yes.
the name of S.H.I.E.L.D. to Hammer.
I did know that,
Sword
so
exists, too.
I do like that little trying to one-up me, but that's because he took over S.H.I.E.L.D. and then dismantled it
Yes, he
and
did.
made
Fucking
Hammer.
Go. Fucking go.
Oh shit!
Don't swing at his comic dick out. Fucking go.
No, but besides that, there was a storyline sometime, I think in 2012 or 2013, I believe, where they had a
Do you know what the name of it is?
kind of a
Who
what
did
if
the artwork?
where... I don't know. But Norman Osborn got the Infinity Gauntlet, and I think it was What If, and he basically brought his dad's soul back to life to witness what he did with infinite power, and still couldn't get his father's approval.
That's beautiful.
And then
Beautiful.
he used the Infinity Gauntlet to make his father give him approval, but it didn't mean anything because he used the Gauntlet to do it. And he basically just gave it all up because he's like, you know what? Fuck you, Dad.
Wow, what a fucking jobber.
Which brings us to the point of all of Spider-Man's villains being jobbers.
They're all a bunch of fucking jobbers.
Yeah, because that was another thing I wanted to point out, was that, like, in reading the comics, Vulture, for example.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Who fucking cares?
in the Spider-Verse comics I was reading, they get out of here. Like basically it's kind of like Whiplash in the Iron Man movies. And Iron Man 2 Whiplash is like, oh, hold the phone, it's Whiplash. He's like, super smart and can like hack everything.
You know what Whiplash had though that Vulture didn't?
What?
Youth.
A bird.
Oh,
An actual bird.
he did. He fucking did.
Okay.
Oh my god, I want my bird.
Vulture's trying to be a bird.
Adrian Toomes is a sickly old man who managed to have a flying flying feather leotard.
Well, you'd be sickly too if you played Batman in a previous life.
Oh, that's true.
That is a very hard life to live through.
Yes, it is. It is.
You want to get nuts? We'll get nuts.
What other villains do you know, Matt, that you like?
All right, let me go through the list. And okay, the first one I could think of that has never been covered in any of the movies. And you want to know what my introduction to him was?
I do.
When I was in the 4th grade, I got a coloring book for Spider-Man.
Okay.
And there was a thing where you had to point out which panels were wrong, and it was Mysterio.
I hope there was a fish in his helmet.
There was!
There was! Let's go!
Yes!
That is fantastic.
To add to that, Mysterio will probably be the villain in the new Spider-Man movie.
And speaking of that, Sam Raimi wanted him to be the villain for the 3rd Spider-Man movie.
That would be it. Well, because first off, I would imagine Raimi would do a great job with him because, from what I recall from my coloring book, which is...
I recall from my coloring book.
Oh, God.
Oh, and then I painted Spider-Man brown and found out I was colorblind.
Wait, seriously? Is that really the... Yeah. Holy shit. We all have childhood Spider-Man stories. Let's go.
Now we know Matt's secret origin.
Matt's arch nemesis is colorblindness.
Wait. So do you have the proportional color sensory ability of half a person?
I don't even know if it's that good. No, but oh god, no, but Mysterio. All I know about him is that he's like all holograms and stuff like that. He like
Mysterio is a
Hollywood stuntman.
yes, a Hollywood stuntman, and he also is very skilled with special effects work.
Very skilled. Also has the name of the founder of a very hipster indie band. His name is Quentin Beck.
Yeah, that is super indie.
He also has the name of a famous luchador type wrestler.
Oh,
Beck
Right,
Quentin?
Mysterio.
Oh.
You had to make a wrestling joke, didn't you?
Well, you won't let me talk about Bonesaw.
yeah, I'm really bummed out about those.
We're not talking about bones.
No. Yes, we are. We're saving it till the end. That's our closer.
Is it?
Anyway, okay.
We got to
so
keep this podcast under
yeah.
like an hour and a half.
So
I
Mysterio,
mean-
all right. So Mysterio he will be in the next movie. Mm-hmm. He's being played, if I recall correctly, by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Is that a rumor? Is that a 100%?
I think it's 100% at this point because we've seen pictures of him on Instagram.
I've seen Jake
In the
Gyllenhaal
costume.
enough to know that
I've
he
seen
can pull
pictures
it
on
off.
Instagram before.
He can pull it off.
Because
well, no, set photos.
because he was a fun bad guy in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, he is. I'm wondering how they're going to adapt that costume.
I don't.
Well, I mean,
Because people who are not aware, okay, here is Mysterio's costume. Imagine a man wearing a green patchwork quilt as a leotard.
Fishbowl on his
With-
head.
yeah, fishbowl on his head. That's all you
Oh,
need.
Fishbowl
with
on his
gold
head.
gloves.
I was
and a
going
fishbowl
to
on his
close
head.
with that, but thank you, whatever, yeah. So basically, long purple cape, green quilt stitched as a leotard, fishbowl hat, and
Fishbowl hat.
what is stapling the cape to his chest are triangular or rectangular eyeball buttons.
Yeah.
Are they eyeball buttons? Hold on. Now you're going to make me look up Mysterio's costume.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
am.
like you are almost.
I didn't know his
correct.
cape was purple.
Oh, hold on. I can do you one better. I could pull up Gyllenhaal's look for Mysterio.
Oh, actually, can you?
I can.
While you do that, I mentioned before that Sam Raimi wanted to include him on. Oh wow, that
That looks really good,
Actually,
actually.
does look
he
pretty
looks
cool.
closer to Prometheus.
I feel like they're just going to CGI his helmet
The
onto
helmet
it.
on
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So that's still not a good enough judge.
I mean, so if they're gonna do that, if they're gonna CGI the helmet there, you could do a bunch of interesting shit with having I guess projections coming either
Yeah.
like,
I'm
in the helmet or out of the helmet.
I'm thinking like what they did with Rorschach in Watchmen.
Something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that is a costume that they could not have done pre CGI because the whole point is even when it was written in the 80s,
Yeah.
Rorschach's costume was the ink was always supposed to be blending and dripping around within.
Well,
because
because it was never the same
Exactly.
in every panel.
Zoomed in a little bit.
It
kind of looks like a Thor costume.
It
more or
does.
less, a little bit.
He's either cosplaying as Thor or he looks closer to the DC villain Prometheus. You throw that weird.
He does kind of have that on, but no, he actually So looking at the actual costume, he did not exactly have any weird triangle things on his.
Hold on a second. Can I?
I
see that
disagree. I'm going to look on my phone now.
Because are we sure that
that's
hold on a
Yeah,
second?
we're
Are we sure that that's Mysterio? Because that costume looks closer to the Prowler than it does.
That's got to be no. That's Mysterio, sir.
I love how you type in Mysterio and first thing that comes up is Rey Mysterio.
I love it.
Oh wait, no, they're not triangular. They're squares.
I corrected myself into rectangular, but that's still not actually what I was looking for.
You know what kind of vibe I get off those eyes though is like the eye that floats on top of the pyramid on the back
That's
of the dollar
exactly
bill.
what I was thinking as well.
Illuminati confirmed.
Kind of.
Illuminati
I thought it was
confirmed.
Freemason. I'm not sure. I have no clue.
But I mentioned before, Sam Raimi wanted to use Mysterio. Mm-hmm. Take a guess who the casting would have been.
With Sam Raimi? Please tell me Bruce Campbell.
100%.
Yes!
Really?
Yeah,
What they were going to do is that his character, because you know how he was in all three movies? He was
Yes.
in all three movies, three different people?
Yeah.
They were going to be the same character.
Ooh.
And that was going to be revealed as...
You see,
But that would have made the
Here's-
third movie so much better, and we wouldn't have gotten the ridiculous
okay.
Spider-Man
with
dance
the-
number.
no. Don't you besmirch the Spider-Man dance number. Okay, here's why. Go on YouTube, watch the cut of the movie where they take the music out, and it becomes brilliant.
Yeah,
I also might
in
be
retrospect, but
It
as a
also-
movie.
or I also might be wrong that he wanted to do that for the third movie. He might have wanted to do that for a potential fourth movie, because that was going to be in the works.
Vulture was also supposed to be one of the two villains. It was supposed to be Vulture Mysterio for Raimi's fourth movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
I'm-
probably would have done something. Well,
So
the
I'm
third
sorry, I
movie-
misspoke. I
well,
believe
for-
that there was going to be a
Yeah.
fourth one, and that was going
Well,
to
from what I understand about the third movie, it was the executive meddling that the reason why we got Sandman and... No, I thought Venom was supposed to be the focal point of the third movie.
No, I think you're right.
I could be wrong.
I think it's why we got Sandman.
Because that's the other thing. Like you guys were saying before, they're all jobbers. Like for example, I made a list. Everyone that is not okay. We got Green Goblin. We got Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin is a jobber.
Hobgoblin is the jobber of the highest quality.
Hang on a second. Wait, I thought
He just pops up to make everybody else look
No,
good.
I thought Green Goblin dies, then Hobgoblin is born. Like in the movies.
That's another very complicated issue to bring up.
It is. Okay, so there's been 3 Green Goblins. Actually, I think debatably 4, but... okay, so the first Green Goblin, Norman Osborn.
Yes,
Second Green Goblin, his son, Harry Osborn.
sure.
Yes.
Okay, then there was the Hobgoblin, who was a mercenary who basically used all of Norman Osborn's goblin tech to commit crimes. And he basically was a motiveless Green Goblin with a cooler costume.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the mask was arguably much cooler on the.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's Green Goblin. Okay, we're going to just go down the list. Doc Ock.
He's always been the same person.
Because
He did actually have a lady octopus.
I will argue that it's a tie between Norman and Dr. Octopus, who are like his biggest nemesis.
Oh, I would agree personally. I am only saying this because I know I said I haven't read any Spider-Man recently, but I actually did read about 16 issues of the most recent Amazing arc.
Oh, so you're a fucking liar.
And there was this moment where someone brings up about didn't your arch nemesis live in your body last year? And he's like, honestly, I don't know if I would consider him my arch nemesis. Maybe a runner up. And that was Peter saying this.
That's cold.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Arguably, it's between the two.
Okay, you know what else was called? Doc Ock's body.
oh Jesus.
God. Way to make it weird.
I'm
but,
just glad I got.
You know what else was called? No One.
Ooh.
How's that for early 2000s new metal references?
That also works philosophically because without a person, there is a lack of substance, and without anything, there is no heat.
All right, we're getting too deep. Let's save that for the Batman episode. So, Doc Ock. Okay, so
Where's Rachel?
So how did he differ though from Spider-Man 2? Was there much deviation there, or they do a pretty good job?
He is much more egotistical in comic books.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Not just more egotistical, but also they've tried to do in both the movie and now in the I don't know if I want to spoil this though.
No, don't. But basically though, Doc Ock, he is just a guy, gets those mechanical implants stuck on his back. He goes crazy from them.
Right.
Yeah,
I
Spider-Man.
would say
Yeah, got some fucking
I would say the
metal
more
and
modern
super glued 'em.
reimagining
It's good.
is that the accident that caused his tentacles warped his mind, and it used to just be he was always a dick.
Exactly. Yes. I will. That's about as far as I'll go in terms of
Okay.
what I was about to say.
Okay. Now before we say the V word, because as soon as I say, I'm afraid we're going to go way off topic. Okay. So we've talked about Vulture. Okay. Now here comes everybody else that I could think of, and now I think they all fall under the title of jobber.
Yes.
Sandman.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, but the thing is a lot like a couple of Spidey's other jobbers, these are people who should be like top level Marvel villains based on their power set.
Right.
Sandman is
Sandman is-
incredibly strong. He is a living being who doesn't need to breathe or eat or feel pain. He can morph his body into any shape or density that he can compact the sand into. Like, how do you beat this man? And yet Spider-Man's done it time after time
He just does
because...
it all the time.
He's fucking Spider-Man.
Right, and also Flint Marco's kind of an idiot, like, thug.
He's really
But-
he's really just like a petty gangster.
Yeah,
like, he's
he's-
just a petty thug that like I'm gonna go rob this bank with my crazy sand powers.
Arguably, what the situation is for a lot of Spider-Man's villains.
Yeah.
A lot of them are really just petty
They're just
thugs
petty criminals.
who have
Godlike power.
exactly, and they just
crazy
don't.
tech.
Shocker might be
Yeah.
the only one who kind of can be.
Wait, is that Electro?
Or, no, I'm sorry,
No.
not Shocker. Electro.
The
Shocker's
Shocker's the guy that falls through the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Electro.
Electro is probably the most powerful of Spider-Man's villains. It's debatable.
On a power level wise, possibly, yeah. I mean, the dude wants to become electricity.
Yeah.
That is his goal. He wants to full on just
I
be
feel
electricity.
Like,
Woogie.
Speaking of all that, I feel like his biggest showing,
New Avengers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Electro's biggest showing was blowing out what? Not Blackgate. What was the?
They borrowed the
Raft.
raft. They borrowed that in the game. That's not
Yeah,
a big
Raft?
spoiler,
What's,
but
what's the Raft?
The
Raft-
Raft is one of the 3 major supervillain prisons.
Okay, we'll worry about that later.
yeah.
That's another story.
that
We're running out of
actually-
time.
No, but
into
we
the,
can say this at least. Electro single-handedly took out all the power and defenses at one of the 3 supervillain prisons in the world and freed all the villains from it.
They were like, "This is your last job. We're gonna pay you all the money."
Okay, but
And he was just.
No, go ahead. Though.
but again though, in the cartoons,
He's
Fucking
He was a jobber.
Have you seen
Yeah.
him with the big fucking flower on his head? It's awful.
And-
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
He doesn't have the
Dumb
intellectual or like spiritual capacity to be like a threat. He is too much of a low thinker.
all right, and then I got Lizard Man. Was he Lizard Man or
No, the lizard.
Oh, the lizard.
Lizard Man is from my favorite fighting game franchise, Soul Calibur.
Ah,
But no, the lizard is Dr. Kirk Connors, who is a good man.
Yeah.
Who happened to
Dr.
lose
Jekyll
his
and Mr.
arm.
Hyde.
Yeah, he happened to lose his arm.
yeah.
Do some experiments with lizard DNA to try and regrow his arm. Become an evil, emotionless reptile carnivore.
Right.
Do that repeatedly for several decades. Eat his family.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was going to interject with that.
And, then he's trying to make amends as a professor right now.
I mean, I feel like.
How do you make amends after you eat your own family?
See, that is why it bothers me that they're even allowing him the chance.
Exactly.
I mean, you would think that with like the movies and everything. I mean, yeah, I guess it's beforehand, but like Tony Stark in the MCU has created tech to regrow limbs. Why hasn't he given it to Phil Coulson or Winter Soldier or anybody else that's had missing limbs? Give it to Dr. Connor. Then you don't have lizard doctor that wants to turn everybody into lizards.
Yeah.
First of all,
You guys
that's
saw Amazing Spider-Man
Sauron.
too, right?
That is Sauron.
Yeah, I know what comic panel you're thinking of, but yeah.
Wait, are you I think I know about this. Is this the
Yeah.
one where like he's arguing? It's like I could just turn everyone into dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But you have the technology to cure cancer and everything. Why would you do that? Because I'm evil. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
I don't want to cure
that is like the most like. I would expect the response from a 4-year-old.
That's kind of beautiful. Though.
Yeah. So we're talking about an X-Men villain named Sauron who has the ability to He is a
He lives in the Savage Land.
yes. He lives in a savage
He's a
land.
humanoid. He's just a humanoid pterodactyl that can hypnotize people with his eyeballs.
He's a pterodactyl man.
He's a pterodactyl. Yeah, he's a pterodactyl man.
He's a pterodactyl man.
Who can hypnotize people.
He wears pants.
He does wear pants.
Oh man!
Thank God for that. all right.
Okay,
Continue.
no, down to the last two before we get to the big one.
Wait. So we're not going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2, where the lizard wants to just.
I never saw Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2.
No, it wasn't the second one. It was the first one. And all he wanted to do was turn New York into lizards, and that shit didn't even last too long.
Oh boy, because I remember the
Watch it. I do recommend it. Though.
Okay,
What's
because
the
I
first-
remember Lizard being the first bad guy in the Spider-Man cartoon.
You're right.
I could be wrong.
Actually, I had forgotten that.
Aside from the third Spider-Man movie, every single Spider-Man movie that has come out is perfectly watchable.
I would argue that Spider-Man 3 is incredibly long.
Watch the video game Donkey about his defense of Spider-Man 3. It makes it watchable.
I can't watch Spider-Man.
I would say that it's watchable by itself. You know why? It's Sam Raimi's fuck you to the movie studio.
Okay.
They were like, we want you to do this, and he was like, oh yeah? You'll get it.
Okay, now here's the thing. Do we want to debate between good and watchable? Or do we
No,
just wanna
because I
continue
have
on?
four
Yeah,
more bad guys to
that's
go
what I'd
through.
say.
Okay, I'm going to lump these two together because I remember them
Do
being huge jobbers from
Do
the
it.
cartoon, Rhino and Scorpion.
Yep,
Okay,
they're jobbers.
I
Let's move
want to
on.
start with this. Here is the first thing. Rhino, don't remember his last name. First name's Alexei. The point is, Rhino is too strong or durable for Spider-Man to should be able to even fight him. It's amusing that they made him a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, but isn't he like dumb? Like, isn't he
You
dumb
know-
enough that he got stuck in his own costume?
No, it's fused to his skin. It's not his fault.
Well, because I remember in the cartoon, it looked like he just went to Party City, bought a Rhino costume.
Okay. I found out his last name. I couldn't pronounce it even if I tried.
Okay, can you spell it?
Sistevich?
Sure. Okay. Sistevich.
Sistevich?
Sytsevich.
Systema. We did it, guys.
Cool enough.
Sistevich.
Anyway,
Close enough.
but the funny thing is that in the rare appearance you see Rhino outside of Spider-Man, like he is fighting like somebody like the Hulk. Not well. He loses.
Not well. He's fighting him.
Yeah. But the point is that Rhino actually should not really be fazed by Spider-Man's blows at all.
Yeah.
It's weird that they introduced him and made him a Spider-Man villain.
I have a theory for a lot of these guys.
Go for it.
And maybe I should bring this up when we're done.
Okay, but I was just going to say,
Are you gonna argue
Rhino
that-
is the dumbest of all of
No, no,
Spider-Man.
no.
I thought you were going to argue something like, I don't know, Spider-Man, they just picked, Spider's natural predators and they just started drawing straws.
Yeah, I actually was about to say a lot of Spider-Man's villains are some kind of animal. Scorpion, Rhino.
That was the other one I was going to get to.
Octopus.
Going
Scorpion.
back to the Morlun thing about totem animals, Otto is the totem of the octopus, and Matt Gargan is the totem of the
I
scorpion.
don't need
Matt
mysticism.
Gargan is crazy McCrazy face.
Now, that's the other thing. Scorpion. I don't remember him much from the cartoons. I just remember seeing his costume and thinking that looks freaking ridiculous.
He was totally in that cartoon just to sell toys.
Toys.
Basically, well, not just that, but that's kind of how he's in the comics too. I mean, basically, he's got like Spider-Man strength and Spider-Man speed and agility, no spider sense, no webbing, and then the mechanical tail. So he's
Right.
basically like,
Oh, he can spit acid.
from the tail, yeah.
Why not just have
Just
an
like
acid,
a regular scorpion.
Why not just have an acid gun?
Yeah.
Why you gotta make it all
No.
convoluted?
Now it's poison.
No, yeah, I was gonna say we have to be realistic to nature. Scorpions shoot acid out of their tails.
No, scorpions do not shoot acid out of their tails.
Listen,
Scorpions are venomous creatures who, when they sting you, they give you a venom.
They wouldn't, right?
They give you a venom.
Listen.
The Spider-Man bad guy.
Why would
Ironically, Matt Gargan becomes Venom.
they? Yes. Why would they give him the ability to shoot acid if scorpions couldn't shoot acid?
I don't know why they didn't give him the ability to shoot kunai out of his hand.
I don't know. Did you see
Get over
this?
here,
Did you see the Spider-Man cartoon when he gets bit by the spider? It kind of looks like he dropped acid.
You are not wrong, my friend.
Actually, no, but let's go back to the point where Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, who did nothing of note aside from being the Scorpion.
Besides being a guy in a scorpion costume.
Yeah, he was the second longest running Venom we've ever had.
Okay,
Well, considering
back
there's
to
only
that.
2 Venoms.
There's been 3.
Flash Thompson.
Okay, yes.
Flash Thompson, thank you. I'm
All
sorry.
right, so there
totally
we go.
Forgot.
So we said it. Venom, probably his best known bad guy.
Invented by Todd McFarlane.
First of all,
after-
best known 90s
Yeah.
villain.
I think Spider-Man. I think Venom.
Honestly, the thing is,
We also grew up in the 90s, so.
That's true.
also, yeah, I was gonna say between when we grew up and also the popularity of that costume and Todd McFarlane, like we might have to just accept, even though we might not want it, that Venom is probably the most well-known.
Let's
that character design's fucking sick.
No, it is because
Fucking sick.
that costume design. is
here's another way to
Fucking
look
sick.
at it. What other comic book villains have had their own movies?
I hate that
Touche.
you're right. I hate that you're right.
Venom's a big effing deal.
And I'm going to argue this, and I hate that I'm going to be the person to argue this. It wasn't terrible.
I hear it's a bunch of zany fun. It's a pre-MCU comic book movie.
Yes.
That's what I hear.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah, like I hear if you go into it and you just
Turn your brain off and have fun with Tom Hardy's accent.
but it's a freaking comic book movie. I mean, it's like it's like the same problem I have with people looking for deeper explanations and
Listen,
everything
there were
from, like, Star Wars
very,
movies.
very complex, deep explanations with Eddie and Venom's relationship. The symbiote itself is intelligent and it has a mind of its own, and their relationship together is very, very.
No, I'm talking like it's not going to be like the Citizen Kane, the next Citizen.
You don't
Kane.
know. You don't know. Venom and Eddie could have some really serious conversations
Oh man,
with
I
each
can't,
other.
I can't wait till Eddie's on his deathbed and then the Venom symbiote's like Rosebud. I can't wait.
I'm just
do about Venom.
I really hope the Venom symbiote sounds like Orson Welles.
Oh, I would go see that right
The most
now.
amazing
if
part
that
is,
was
so
the
they
case.
did what they did with the movie is the Venom symbiote is actually just Tom Hardy talking to himself.
Yeah.
Just ad-libbing. And a lot of the
Like
the
90% of
lines.
the
But let's talk about how the hell did the symbiote even happen in the first place? Like
For the
what?
contracts.
Yeah, they wanted to sell. They wanted to sell toys.
Okay, so there was a storyline in the mid '80s called Secret Wars. There's been like 3 Secret Wars in Marvel.
It's not very
Marvel
secret.
loves Secret Wars.
No, and that's the thing too. That name is because the words secret and war tested well with young boys.
It's true.
Dead serious. I am dead serious.
The first Secret Wars took place. A storyline where this galactic being called the Beyonder transported a bunch of heroes and a bunch of villains.
Wait, wasn't the Beyonder the lead singer of Destiny's Child?
Yes, Beyonde.
She couldn't pay her telephone bill.
Anyway,
or her
so
automobiles.
they were transported.
That's our second downfall. Is wrestling references the first one? The second was Destiny's Child references.
Yeah. That's
We make a lot of
So a
those.
bunch of
Like
heroes,
Destiny's
bunch of
Child
villains
references.
transported to this world called Battle World that Beyonder had created. And they were supposed to, believe it or not, battle.
Whoa.
So really, and to not cut you off, but Battle World was literally just like a barren, kind of wastelandy kind of place.
It was a composite of a bunch of different worlds they took.
okay.
That's
Why am I imagining
there was
like
a small suburb of Colorado that was a part of Battle World.
Okay.
Because he just took it
I'm
from
just
Earth.
imagining Battle World like where they like instant transmission to and like Dragon Ball Z were like, hey, let's not blow up the city.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But they also instant transmission the planet into being.
Oh.
So I'm I really where I was getting at, or what I was getting at, is that you had like the home base of the good guys and the home base of the bad guys, like you would as a kid with all your action figures. If you had like
Or Team Fortress 2.
right, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I know for myself, I had a bunch of like GI Joe and those like CVS brand like core figures and like the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter like little GI Joe figures.
Yeah.
And I'd mix all the good guys and the bad guys together. Like I would do that with like my DC and Marvel action figures.
Also, what they did was they brought along the people who since, as you said, it was just an amalgamation of different places and people, including the suburb of Denver, Colorado that was there. People from like those worlds were brought in when they brought brought those places in. So the heroes had something to like actually
Protect.
Okay.
Right,
Okay,
but
so-
we're getting off topic. We need to stick to Secret Wars with Spider-Man.
Yes.
And what happened is between battles during Secret Wars, all the heroes found that there was this machine in one of the rooms in their base that just happened to make new suits for people. They would press a button and they would get a new costume.
Yep.
Nifty.
So Spider-Man heard about this, goes in to replace his tattered costume, finds the wrong machine, presses a button.
Yes.
It happens to give him a brand new costume.
Nifty.
It's also an alien symbiote. He finds this out later.
Yeah. But he hits a button, bam, black costume.
He didn't think to like.
Nope.
He was like. Did he see like everybody else walk out with their normal costumes?
Yeah, and he's like, I wonder why this happened.
Oh well, sweet, new costume.
Yeah.
Didn't we establish before Peter Parker's like a genius?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, but remember, comic book genius scales with the times.
and necessity.
Yeah.
And necessity. That's probably the biggest point. Superhero IQs are based on necessity, but
Fair.
All right.
I mean,
now-
do you want to go into why that they even like why this was even a thing?
I think that's something
No,
we'll probably save for another
I-
episode.
It is, and also there are 2 villains he does not have on that list that I think we need to get to.
Who are they?
Do you want to go with the important one first or the unimportant one first?
Give it to me alphabetically for all I care. I don't know.
Okay, so Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No
everybody
clue.
forgets about Kraven the Hunter.
They shouldn't. He's responsible for 2 or 3 of Spider-Man's best story arcs ever.
Yeah.
Craven the Hunt. I have no clue who that is. Was he in a cartoon?
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Really?
He's
Hunter
also-
who wore like a lion mane thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was
I
kind
remember
of
now.
a jobber in the cartoon.
Yeah, he was a total jobber in a
Yeah.
cartoon.
Thing is, in the comics, this guy who had, at that point at least, no
Yeah.
superpowers. Mm-hmm. Okay. He is just a world-class hunter, a game hunter, who wants the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah, he's
And he decides that Spider-Man would be, like,
The greatest prey.
right. And so he doesn't just, like, hunt him like, oh, I'm going to go hunt an elephant. No, he studies him. He, like, tries to live his life, basically. He figures out his schedule, everything about him.
he sounds like a modern quarterman.
A modern what?
Remember League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Sean Connery's character.
Oh, it's Quaterman.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Oh, screw me.
No, it's not spelled. It's not pronounced how it's spelled. So I totally get you.
Oh, we'll leave it to the British to do that.
Okay, but yeah, so his son also has appeared as Kraven the Hunter II. He sucks and has never done anything good.
Didn't the daughter show up too at some point?
Yes,
Sony is making Kraven the Hunter movie, by the way.
yeah, but basically everyone except for the original Kraven sucks.
Okay.
In his family.
So
But Kraven
Wes
the Hunter-
Craven the Hunter. Who else we got?
Okay.
Kraven the
Okay, so
Let's Craven the Hunter.
here is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, just conceptually.
Bonesaw's ready.
Yeah, favorite.
Yes, we're finally doing it.
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, we are doing it. We're saying. I told you, we're saying that for the end.
All right.
No, this is my other favorite Spider-Man villain. I'm going to talk about a man whose super villain name is Swarm, and I'm going to start this by telling you what he is. He is a
dumb.
Nazi made of bees.
Okay, hold on
What?
a second. Hold on a second. When you say he's a Nazi made of bees, is he a man, or so is he a Nazi man that's made of bees, or is he a man made of Nazi bees? Because I feel like that's super relevant.
He is a man made of bees.
Wait.
He is a Nazi. I don't know if I feel qualified to call him a man anymore.
He
He
was
has
one
no
of
body.
Adolf Hitler's top scientists.
He
all right?
was.
Is he bringing the honey to the Fuhrer? Is that what's happening?
No. I believe they bring the honey back to him to feed the queen.
Okay.
I don't know. The point is he is a, like, at this point, 90-year-old German scientist who is literally a skeleton covered in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of bees that give him a human form.
Whose idea was this?
That I would love to find out.
Bill Mantell and John Byrne. I actually looked him up. So
John
we would have
Bard.
this,
Okay,
yeah.
that actually makes sense. I know him.
No,
That guy is so hit or miss. Holy shit.
You know what this sounds like? Oh, God, remember Metal Gear Solid 3?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
The pain.
The Pain. That was it. I can't remember. It sounds like The Pain meets
Meets the Third Reich.
yeah. It's like The Pain meets like one of those like crazy oh God, what was the name of that Nazi movie from Inglourious Bastards? It's like The Pain meets that movie meets the B movie with Jerry Seinfeld.
Ooh. So what you're telling me is that so I guess after Spider-Man Far From Home, we're gonna get like Spider-Man like summer vacation, and we're gonna have Swarm's gonna be the bad guy played by Jerry Seinfeld.
I want Tom Holland's third movie to be Peter Parker's Day Off.
Peter Parker's Day Off. What? Is that a comic or?
No. I just want them to do a shot remake of Ferris Bueller's Day Off
With Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
as Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
I'd watch it.
Well, I mean, the Swarm sounds like it could make for a good Weekend at Bernie's remake.
Not for nothing, Doug.
I 100%
Doug,
agree.
right at this second, you're kind of looking like Ed Rooney a little bit.
In the sense that I look very old, very red. What?
You
You look like
the
Ed
principal.
Yeah,
of
you look
Ferris
the
Bueller's
principal.
Day Off.
Off. Yeah.
Dude, that guy was arrested for pedophilia.
Um,
That does not make me feel good about myself.
All right, that's all the time we got for today, folks.
Yeah, it's fine. We can leave it off here. I might see you guys next time, depending on if I'm in jail or not.
I did not know that off the top of my head.
Well, in all honesty, there's so much to talk about Spider-Man. There's so much that we haven't even touched on that we really need to talk about.
And that's considering that we talked about Nazi bees.
We'll probably be coming back and taking a second stab at doing a part 2 of this. So we can probably call this part 1 and end it off on a...
We could, but we also could have said take a second sting at it. And I'm disappointed.
Oh, spider stings.
Spiders don't
spider
sting.
stings.
Yeah, do you know what does?
Oh no! Yeah.
Bees.
Yeah, Nazi bees. Do I have to reiterate?
Good night, everybody.
Nazi bees. Good night, but Nazi bees.
If you have questions, a topic you would like us to cover, or wish to simply tell us all the facts we screwed up, feel free to contact us at Layman's Guide to the Multiverse at gmail.com. Also, feel free to visit our website at laymansguidetothemultiverse.com. Not done with it yet. Gonna read off the music credits. Our theme song is Dance Rocket off the album Descent of the Goober Monster by Jesse Spillane, licensed under a Attribution 4.0 international license off of freemusicarchive.org. Our intermission music, see I remembered it, is Crinoline Dreams by Kevin McLeod by Incomtech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license, off of CreativeCommons.org, licensed by 3.0, slashes instead of spaces there. And this Enzic music is Miami Nights, the extended theme, also by Kevin McLeod, Incomtech.com, INCOMPETECH.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Again, creativecommons.org/license/by/3.0 3.0/ Please don't sue us if I screw that up.